You are listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, with your hosts, Aubriana Johnson and Caitlin Gooch. So we're starting off every episode talking about what we are thankful for. If you want to share kind of something today in particular or kind of overall that you are thankful for.
I am thankful for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Because without them, I couldn't do anything. There'd be no Sankofa Farms, there'd be no me. So I really want to thank my family.
That's awesome. Caitlin?
I am thankful. Yesterday, I was able to ride with a group of friends, and that was a lot of fun. I was out there with Aubriana and some of our friends, and I haven't rode my horse in a while. So I'm thankful that I was able to do that yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That's cool.
That was a good time. I am thankful for, I would say, family as well. We just had a death in the family, like I just found out. So I know that it's going to be a little bit difficult for us for the next few weeks. But knowing the family that I have, it is going to be, we're all going to work through it together. So I'm thankful for my family as well. So, Kamal, start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and, like, your upbringing and how Sankofa Farms became what it is today.
All right. So the story of Sankofa Farms is just when there's really like resiliency, and the focus is around helping the Black community. So when I was in undergraduate, I was pursuing an undergraduate degree at Oakland A&T. My major was science, and I was sitting in class and I was thinking, like, how can I really get back to the Black community? And I really didn't come up with the answer with my degree being focused on animal science and lab animal science and being a veterinarian. So I got the idea to go to my advisor and express to him that I wanted to pursue a degree that was more so centered around farming, because I think everything is centered around agriculture and it's traced back in some form of fashion. And I wanted to really be able to impact our people on a larger scale. And of course, I got pushback and negative feedback on the journey just from like people around me or my advisor. But when I started teaching in public school and I saw how the students who weren't offered a way out could be given a choice, that's what gave me the idea to put the academy around Sankofa Farms. So Sankofa Farms is going to be here in some capacity or not. Well, in some capacity, whether the students are there or not. But to make it sustainable and to play into our mission, we have to incorporate the next generation of thinkers, because if we don't, that's not going to ensure that the idea is going to be here in the future. So incorporating them has really taken Sankofa to the next level and really has made it very, very unique. And now that we're starting to get the infrastructure to Sankofa, I'm actually able now to really teach the students, because the first 3 years were just us trying to get by from year to year. Mm-hmm. That's all it's been. And now that we're starting to get recognition, which is cool, and the recognition brings more resources to us. So now that we're at that point, we're able to incorporate more resources. Sankofa is actually able to grow and facilitate the programs that we set out to.
Yeah, congratulations on your Kickstarter success.
Thank you.
If people don't know, there was a Kickstarter out, I guess, getting you guys a van so that you could transport kids to and from the farm. How do you target kids in Durham public schools? Because I know that's where you work, or are you going closer to Eflin?
No, I work in Durham public schools. This June was my last year teaching, so I'll be full-time at state. And, well, actually, now we started reporting back. But we don't target students in Eflin. I live in Durham. Mm-hmm. So my connection and my roots are here in Durham. So we just work with students here in Durham, and we bust them out. Or not bust them out.
Some people may say you got to bust out of Durham, but I think it's getting a little bit better.
Yeah. So all my students are from Durham.
Okay.
Who live in Durham.
So, when exactly did Sankofa Farms start? Like, when did you acquire the land? Was this like in your family? How did you pick the location?
So I think a lot of people who look at the story probably think like the land was in the family. It wasn't. I had to go through the USDA Farm Service Agency, and they were really they had a lot of I guess say roadblocks in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up acquiring the farm in March of 2016, and that's when Sankofa Farms. That's when we got the farm. But Sankofa Farms started when I was talking to one of my close friends, Devin McAllister, about having a name that would unite people of the diaspora worldwide, and Sankofa came to mind. So I had a class in college that was African history up to 1800, and we watched the movie Sankofa, and I was like, all right, I think this would be a great name. So really, it's more so like a declaration of our African descent and saying like, y'all, look, pay attention. We can build institutions from the ground up. We just have to support them. So we started out doing dehydrated chips, and I do it now every now and then, but it takes so much time that it's hard to fit into my schedule. But that's when Sankofa Farms started, was comprised in 2015, and we got the farm in 2016. The name originally for Sankofa started out as Unity Farms. And that was just a declaration to bring unity, but somebody had registered the name already in North Carolina, so I couldn't use it. I only could use it in Guilford County.
Right.
So once that happened, I found out we decided to change the name to Sankofa, and we've been running with it ever since.
Okay.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah. So when you acquire the farm, go through the USDA, do you have to be producing something, like having some kind of product go to market? Is that kind of what the requirement is to have that connection through the USDA?
To go through them, you have to have 3 years of agricultural experience, and the way they weight it is pretty odd. So if I went to college for literally 5 years, 5.5 years, for my master's and for my undergraduate degree, all centered around agriculture, it took all that experience and culminated to 1 year. Then they'll take your business experience. Yeah, it's crazy. They'll take your business experience, and then that'll be 1 year. And then you have to have managerial experience on the farm. And then they took all 4 years of that and made it 1 year. So they didn't do it because the time ran concurrently. They did it because they were trying to make the process more difficult for me to acquire land. But this is what they didn't know. I had a friend that was in the USDA that was able to help me through the process. So when they tried all their roadblocks and tricks, we were able to go ahead and be a step ahead because we knew that was coming. So that's what allowed us to be able to acquire the farmers, just having the foresight of what they were already going to do. So the way they weigh the experience is odd. It actually makes it more difficult for Black people to get into farming, because you could work with your granddad who might have a farm. You can work with him your whole life, but then they will go through and provide stipulations on why that experience
doesn't count
or could count. So it's up to their discretion. But once we got the farm in Orange County, that office has been very, very helpful. Like the FSA office in Orange County is really, really helpful. They weren't like the one I had to deal with to acquire the farm, because it was two different offices, but the Orange County USDA has been very supportive.
Well, that's awesome.
That they've been supportive.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's still, if they weren't supportive, this thing could be it could look completely different. So we're just fortunate to be at that, to have that office.
It's just amazing to me how even in, way before we were born, Black farmers had those same issues, and clearly those issues aren't dissolving, and they're still here. But at least, farmers like you who are paving the way so so other, upcoming farmers can know, what to do and how to get around those things, and hopefully network so we can have more people that are on the inside and who know what to do in those situations.
Yeah. So like the students are that. So I'm able to get them the experience of what I went through, so they don't have to go through it anymore.
Yeah.
So when it's time for them to get their farms, we'll have different measures in place where they can go ahead and get there and have to go through a medium or middle party, and hopefully we can do it where they can put a large cash down payment on it. So they will have a different experience than I did, and then their kids and kids after them will be able to just buy it outright. So I'm looking at it as I went through a certain medium, then the students do, and then now my two sons coming up, they'll be able to take it further than both groups.
Right.
Because I'm 28, the oldest students are 16, and then my young sons are 5 and 2. So there's about a 12-year difference between each group.
Mm-hmm.
So as each group comes through, everybody should have a better. They should have a smoother process, and if they don't, that means I didn't do my job at the top. So that puts like constant pressure on me to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and leading them the right way.
Right.
Set them up for success.
Mm-hmm. We
So,
have to. Nobody else is going to do it.
I know that there are honeybees on your farm. What else is on your farm?
So right now we have honeybees. I literally caught a swarm yesterday. So we went from 14 hives back up to 15. So
how do I don't understand what that means. How do you catch a swarm of bees?
So that's a great question. So yesterday I went out to the farm. There's a tree in our apiary. So our apiary is a place you keep bees. During times of the honey flow, so when you like out of fall, out of winter, going into spring, you'll start to see flowers blooming.
Yes.
That signifies that plants are producing nectar and pollen. And during this time, the bees pick it up, and they're saying, okay, we can expand our hive because we have resources.
Mm-hmm.
Once that happens, if they're expanding their hive with the resources in the environment and they run out of space, they'll take their queen, or a queen will hatch out. So two different scenarios, but the easiest one is a queen will that they made it through the winter with will start laying eggs at an excessive rate when they come out of winter, going into spring. Once they run out of space, the bees will pick up on it and say, hey, queen, you need to stop laying. We're going to run you around so you can lose weight, and we have to leave this spot. And the 60% of the bees, plus that queen, will go fly out in nature. So when they leave that space, I will get a call or I'll see it. And then I'll go catch the bees and then relocate them on the farm, and then they'll restart a hive. So since the honey flow just came back on, there's one from like April to early June. Then there's another one from like August around now till like the end of September, the shorter honey flow. And the bees will start swarming again because they feel like they have enough resources to survive. So then literally yesterday I went out to the farm, and there's a tree in our apiary, and there was a swarm. It wasn't our bees, from somewhere else, and they're attracted to other areas that there are bees. And I was literally in the middle of a swarm yesterday, and I had to wait till the bees congregated, because after they leave their location, they'll congregate somewhere like on a tire or like a hole in a tree or like an open space like in a house where they can build out the hive, and then they'll call somebody crazy like me to go get the bees. So then I capture them and relocate them to Sankofa farms.
That's pretty cool. I've seen that. I've seen like different kind of infographics going around social media. Like if you see this, don't like spray them with gas. Just call your local wildlife person, and they can actually like relocate the whole mass. On the side of houses, or in trees and tree houses, things like that. So that is pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I don't know, like bee disease kind of spectrum, but are you concerned like with other bees coming in that are not, quote unquote your bees, that there's going to be any kind of issue?
I'm not. And honestly, it's something where since we since we've worked with Bear crop science, they've kind of given us steps and guidelines to follow to ensure that our animals or our bees don't get sick. So staying close to those guidelines have really helped us this year. Okay. So I'm not. It's not like a big concern. But other than the bees, we have, like, I'm looking at probably 40 pounds of squash right now, and 3 pounds of cowpeas, and probably around a pound of okra. And we have watermelons coming in as well, so they'll be ready in a couple weeks. Well, probably next 2 weeks.
That's awesome. Do you have any livestock or plan on having any livestock?
We tried that. We actually started out with livestock. So my undergraduate is animal industry. So animals come a whole lot quicker to me. Like livestock, I can work with the bees. It clicks to me because I'm used to it. And the plants are like, I have like a learning curve with them, and we're starting to kind of get in the groove with the plants. But we had guinea fowl at one point, quail, ducks. At one point, and that was something that went well. But since I don't live on the farm and have to commute, it wasn't the best setup for us to go with going forward. So that's why we kind of switched to the bees and also the crops. So I did start out. We started out doing livestock at the beginning.
Interesting.
It can be difficult if you have to commute and feed those animals to make sure that they're good, like twice a day. That can become a lot.
Especially in the winter when you have to go to the farm. Oh, we didn't in the past, only because we didn't have the infrastructure to raise crops all year round. Now we do. So we'll be going to the farm all year round now. Right. But the animals were a little bit more demanding, and I had to go out there and check on them when it snowed, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that presented an issue. But now, since we have calico tunnels, we can raise food all year round with the cover. Essentially, we'll be able to get more things done.
Right. So, go ahead.
Is there a technical term for the suit that you wear around the bees and that you had the kids wear as well?
Yes, that we use bee suits or veils typically, but we make sure that we're covered at all times so we don't keep getting stung.
Did y'all have to purchase those, or is there like a grant or a scholarship that you can apply for to obtain them?
The suits? Well, their crop science donated all the suits. And like any picture that we have with bee equipment, they probably donated it as well. They used to have a office here in the area, and they had to move. So they donated. They knew our mission, and they've really helped us with acquiring the materials to beekeep. And we also have got a grant from the community fruit fund or community fruit guys in California for beehives. And then there's a group at NC State, Pi Alpha Xi, that helps us out a lot with funding for our educational programs.
Yeah. On that line, so is Sankofa Farms considered like a business or a nonprofit?
Sankofa Farms is a business, an LLC.
Okay.
So we play with that model of like a nonprofit, but after looking at other agricultural programs around the nation, that model, like for youth, didn't seem to work. So I didn't want to take that part. But we do have a nonprofit, which is called Sankofa Saves, that supports STEM programs. And we, so people want to like donate. We take donations through Sankofa Saves. But the whole nonprofit route with the academy, I didn't think long term it would be a viable solution. I think we would run into some problems with it.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. So, I saw on your website that you have a couple of team members. How did you go about selecting these people? Did you know them from before and they were like, hey, I want to help you with this mission? How did you guys develop as a team?
So, Devin is the one who I was talking about the name change with. And he's a historian. He has his master's in Africana Studies, so we connect really well. And we also rebuilt the Black History Club at North Carolina A&T when we were there. So me and him have a history of working together and building programs and building a organization.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like a no-brainer. Like when we started Sankofa, he's been there. I talk to him every day. Literally, I think I've talked to Devin every day for the last 5 years.
Wow.
So we're that close. And Mark is someone who I met a little bit later, but he handles the financials for Sankofa Farm.
Mm-hmm.
He handles all the financials, and that's his background. So he makes sure we don't spend all the money and make sure that things are and we're on budget and on par.
Yeah. And so, do these people also have other jobs?
Right now, they do. They do.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to get Sankofa to a point where it's full time for everybody. But with me getting ready to work on my doctorate and other things going on, I probably won't be for the next couple of years.
Yeah. What are you pursuing your doctorate for?
I'll be at State in the Ag Extension Education.
Okay. Awesome. I graduated from State with my animal science degree, so
Cool.
That's kind of my neck of the woods.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the ag programs over there are insanely cool. They have so many resources. It's ridiculous.
And that's perfect for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect. We're literally starting over. So that's something that we definitely, I think, will be able to benefit from.
Yeah, definitely. So the other people that work with you, is their background pretty much in agriculture, or did they have that interest beforehand?
They just have an interest in helping the black community. That's their interest.
Okay.
So no matter what, agriculture or whatever, we all connect on that platform.
That's awesome. So, the main reason I wanted to talk to you today is because Caitlin and I do have a vision to kind of produce a space for kids that, don't have the experiences with horses that some other kids have, because it is kind of it is stereotypically thought to be an elitist sport when truly it is not. So we are, together through different projects, just sharing with other people like, hey, black people have horses. There's actually quite a lot of them. And you don't...
I think.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see them in the show ring necessarily, but about 300 of us just met up in the woods and went riding for like 5 hours. So, it's, we're just, have that ultimate vision of acquiring some sort of space to facilitate that educational journey for kids that don't get it. Especially in our area. We're in the Zebulon-Wendell area. So, there's plenty of land out here, but our proximity to Raleigh, people are starting to move out and out and out, and, the price of land is going up. So, do you have any advice for aspiring landowners, aspiring kind of youth program owners for kind of the future for making this I mean, it doesn't even really have to be lucrative because we don't get paid for what we do now, but just getting that started and keeping it going.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's a question that I don't get often about, just like tips to give other people on like acquiring land. And I think that would be like the focal point of the conversation a lot of times, or at least the question, because we got pushed off the land. The best thing I would do is look around and, because you can look at the patterns and see where everybody's going. I would just look at the areas where people aren't going. And the land is still cheap there. Like Cedar Grove, North Carolina is one of those places. There's like Prospect Hill, Caswell County, like all those areas, there are places where people aren't buying. Well, people aren't coming in buying land. The land is still relatively cheap. And I would just make sure that it's like 35 minutes away from a major city, and as long as you're within that distance, you can get land, and then you can work with people in urban areas.
Right.
It's not like it looks a lot harder than what it is, but Carolina Farm Credit offers you that 15%, and depending on how much land I would start small, and then I would move to a larger space. So I wouldn't jump. And I think that's something that we did. We jumped and got 12 acres of land at the beginning. And if we would just maybe got like 4 or 5 and worked our way up, we could have went from 4 or 5 to 25. But now we'll go from like 12. It'll still be a large jump, but it just takes a lot more to put into this space than what I knew at the beginning. But now that it's starting to catch up with us and we're starting to get our foot, it's working out. But just at the beginning, that transition could have been a little bit easier. So I would just look at saving my money, because I saved a lot of money before we bought the farm, and that's the part that people never ask. I had a whole lot of money saved, so the capital was there. But for people who don't have the capital, I would look for land. You're gonna have to have some to acquire land, but I would just look around in areas that are a little bit more untraditional to purchase land.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Sounds good. Thank you all.
Of course. You have a good one.
Bye, you too.
Thank you for listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates. Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. See you next time.